Wxdl Ecosystem is an ecosystem as a service organization that provides services, tools, and resources to participants of local entrepreneurial ecosystems. To benefit from our services, you must become a member. As a member, we will provide you with 3 specific services. Number 1, access to a team available to you 24/7, 365. Number 2, access to software and platforms that we designed and engineered specifically for entrepreneurship. And number 3, we will help you fundraise once you're ready. If you'd like to help us grow and have a passion for entrepreneurship, you can build your own ecosystem on top of our infrastructure by becoming an ecosystem leader and a pitch studio owner. To be eligible, you must meet the following criteria. Number 1, passion for entrepreneurship. Number 2, ability to build your own advisory team. Number 3, ability to build an amazing startup community. Wxdl is an online and software-based ecosystem as a service. To learn more about our concepts, please visit www.wxdlecosys.com or www.wxdlecosys.com, or you can sign up directly on our Meet360 platform at www.meet360.org or www.meet360.org. Hi, my name is Xend and I'm the founder and CEO of Wxdl Ecosystem. Welcome to Wxdl.Pod, a podcast dedicated to entrepreneurs from across the globe. In this first episode, we're talking to an African entrepreneur from Nigeria who's building not one, but 2 amazing startups. His name is Ugo Aronu. You're going to enjoy that conversation because the man is extremely smart, has already raised $2.2 million from the likes of Binance and Google Launchpad, as well as many others. And he's going places. So I'll see you guys at the end of the discussion, and you'll see. You're gonna like it. Just to get to know you a little bit, because it's always nice to hear about the backstory of every single successful entrepreneurs and how where they come from. So my first question for you would be, where did you grow up, and basically what were your interests back then growing up?
Okay, yeah. So I grew up in Nigeria, actually, in the eastern part of Nigeria. That's where I still am now. So my interests really growing up, basically, initially I just wanted to work for an oil company, right? Because as a child, really, that was in Nigeria. Nigeria is an oil state, so it's something that everybody wants to get into an oil company and all that. Yeah. So, and even till my university days, I was on scholarships, some oil company sponsored scholarships. So it even drove me more to want to work there, right? So, but at some point I realized that my interest started changing, right? That was about like in 2014. My interest started changing. Why? It was because we had this major shell in Nigeria started selling off its assets, and technology really. It was at that time I started really encountering technology in its real state, because I realized that tech could do a lot of things. I worked at that time I got like an internship position at KPMG, and they were using a lot of tech. I saw things that were going on. I was really fascinated, and I started doing research. I realized that even the very influential and wealthy people in the world were all tech guys, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I didn't really need an angel to tell me that I had to have a rethink. And when I really started looking into tech, I realized that it was way cheaper, right? Because I remember in school, then in the university, I wanted to apply to a university in Scotland, for masters, and because they do energy and all that stuff, oil and gas stuff.
Yeah.
It was costing, I think it was like over $50,000, and it required me to probably borrow money and all that stuff, But I realized that with tech, I just needed my computer and my brains, and I already had those two, right? So it was very easy, yeah. So that was what sparked my interest in technology. But initially, it wasn't tech, because most people around here, right, even when we were growing up, didn't do anything in tech. You would hardly hear anybody talk about it.
Yeah, it's true, because we're not exposed to tech, right? Now for the next generation, they're gonna know, but us, when we're growing up, it wasn't part of or the dreams that we had,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about your family growing up. What was your family composed of, and what motivated you to basically go out there and be that future
Yes. So basically, right, I grew up in a family of 6. We were 6 in my family, but like my dad, my mom, and then 4 kids, right? So I'm the last of the 4, and we're all boys, right?
Yeah.
So I was the last of all of them. The thing is, my family really like helped and supported me. Initially, I didn't really know, because I was just tagging along with my brothers, because I had elder brothers, right? So I was just tagging along. Anything they do, I try to replicate, stuff like that. But when it now got to I had to get to the university, I realized that my immediate elder brother had more influence on me. So I just studied exactly what he was studying, which was electronics engineering. But going into electronics, I also when I tried to start the whole tech thing, he even encouraged me, right? He encouraged me, and he was like, yeah, I should really do that, because he started getting into tech earlier, but wasn't really consistent with it. But he told me that I should just keep at it and everything. Yeah. So even when I finished from the university, I got a software job. I worked for about 8 months, 9 months. When I was resigning to start my own tech company, my parents were a little bit worried initially, because they were like, are you sure of what you want to do? But I was like, yeah, I was sure, and they supported me, so it was really, most people around my family, everybody like supported me, and throughout my growth stage, getting into the university days, all my brothers were always supporting me financially and everything. Although I had scholarships, for they were working at the time, so they would always send money. So my family is like a really, really supportive one, even till date, right? So that's why I'm really, really that's why I'm even here, because without their support, I won't be here. Yeah. So that's basically about my background.
Yeah. What about a lot of people are saying that entrepreneurs are born. Some of them are saying that entrepreneurs, you can actually become an entrepreneur at any point in time in your life. What's your take on that? Would you say that you always had that fiber of entrepreneurship?
No,
was it something that you discovered along the way?
Yeah, it was something I discovered, and it was even something that I didn't plan on being an entrepreneur. I'm very honest, right? It wasn't in my plan at all. So I've always just wanted to, just work and probably help an existing organization build stuff, right? So the software company I left, why I actually left there was because I was trying to do more than writing software, because I'm a software engineer, but I'm also like very good with interacting with people, getting business deals done and stuff like that, right? So I would complete all my software tasks very, very quickly, and then I'll head out to try and get some software deals and all that. So, but then they didn't really like it, because they were like, you're really good at writing software, why don't you just stay back? And personally, I get bored with things very easily, right? If I do one thing over and over, I just get bored with it. And the software tasks there were not very, very, very complex. So I needed things that could push me more, but they were not there. So I just wanted to get deals and, of course, like grow the business eventually, actually. So, but it wasn't really working out. So I said, let me just try out something. And at that time, I was 21 years. So I had a lot of time on my hands. So even if what I'm doing doesn't work, it doesn't matter, So yeah. So that's why I actually now ventured out. I started trying, talking to people, trying to get software deals, and that's how we started. I didn't really plan on it. If at times I take a look back and I'm like, if someone told me this whole entrepreneurship thing might be this complex and convoluted, not be straightforward, I would have probably not taken the route at all, right? To be honest. Yeah. So whenever people come to me and they're like, oh, they want to start a business, they want to do something, I actually tell them to think twice, right? Because the thing is, because the thing is, when you get in, right, it's very difficult to get. You can't really just get out, because eventually you have a lot of people who depend on you. So it's like you're sold. It's a life of sacrifice, right? So you're always, even when you don't want to do something, you just have. So that's the thing. So it's not really, I don't believe entrepreneurs are born. I don't believe that. I actually feel that it's something that they grow into, something that they learn, because you keep on making so many mistakes as time goes, and you just learn from there.
Yeah, I think the same thing. I actually believe that, entrepreneurship is a decision that you make at some point. You just, I was in corporate for quite some times, and when I realized that corporate, the work, the life of a corporation would not be, for me, then I made that decision to actually start a business, right? Yeah. So let's talk about, Xend Finance and Wicrypt a little bit. Can you, you're the founder of both companies. Can you describe them both for us so we can understand better what they are?
Xend Finance is actually a decentralized financial platform, right, for cooperatives and for credit unions and individuals as well, that allows these institutions or these individuals who are financially underserved and who are living in unstable economies to protect their assets and also earn very high yields with stable currencies, right? So in a nutshell, basically what it means is for existing, for individuals who are, or cooperatives or businesses or institutions, right, who are living in countries where they are financially underserved or economies are unstable, which causes a lot of inflation. Example is Nigeria, right? What we do is we allow those people to take their local currencies, convert it to stable currencies that is pegged to the US dollar, and then they earn very high interest on their the total amount they've actually deposited on our platform. And the great thing about this is there is no middleman. You don't need any financial institution. Everything is managed, by the blockchain. It's decentralized technology, so you have access to your funds. Everything is open and trustless. So that's the whole essence of Xend Finance, and we've seen that it's actually solving a lot of problems already. Even just like we just launched about 3 weeks ago. We just went live about 3 weeks ago to a month, and we're actually solving a lot of problems already. With people protecting their assets. Because, for example, like Nigeria, when I remember that when I got into the university, $1 was 150 naira. Now it's about 500 naira. So it means that we've lost over 3.5. About 3.2 or thereabouts, right? And when you add the 3 multiples, really, when you're referring to, when you're trying to compare the naira to dollar, mean that if you had a certain amount of money, then by now you've lost over three of that value, over three of that amount, value of that amount, which is terrible. Which is extremely terrible. It means that people can't save, people can't even plan for the future. So one of the things we're trying to do at the moment is to be able to educate a lot of people about Xend Finance, especially people who are in the informal sector, and bring them into our protocol or our platform and enable them to earn very high yields in stable currency. So no matter what happens, they are always protected against devaluations and the instability of the economy.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the second product at Wicrypt, basically what we do at Wicrypt is we allow people to monetize their Wi-Fi. So we've realized that a lot of in Africa, right, internet can be very expensive. Okay, and it's very expensive because you have centralized organizations, that own the entire infrastructure. And then at times some of the infrastructure are actually highly underutilized. So in areas where they are concentrated, they need to make their money back. So there's very high cost of internet in those areas. But with Wicrypt, we developed a technology that allows anybody anywhere in the world to actually become like a micro ISP, right, or a small internet service provider, and also leveraging on the existing internet service provider. So what it means is people can create their own distribution networks without really having to maybe set up some very huge infrastructure and all that. create distribution networks, and still leverage the existing internet source and earn money when they share that internet. And how this reduces the cost of mobile internet data is this: when you buy mobile internet data in bulk, the cost is driven down drastically, right?
Yeah.
For example, in Nigeria, I'll give you an example. One of the ISPs here can sell a gigabyte of data. When you're buying 1 gigabyte of data, they can sell it to you at about 350 naira or 400 naira, right? But when you buy 1 terabyte of data, which is about 1,000 gigabytes of data, right? You get 1 unit of 1 gigabyte of data at that bulk price at 100 naira, meaning that the price has dropped by 4 times, right? Which is actually amazing, right? So you realize that with that, a lot of people who purchase data in bulk can use our technology to distribute data at a very cheap rate and actually even mark it up and earn some profit, which is really interesting and remarkable here. So our main aim for doing this is to drive down the cost of data and to also provide last mile internet connection. Because with this, people can even decide on their own to set up some small infrastructure in remote areas, right? On their own, without the need for telcos, just small, maybe antennas and masts, set it up, and buy large amounts of data and then distribute. The good thing is this is already working. We have partnered with some ISPs. We even have a license to operate and distribute in Nigeria. And a lot of people are already using it. So it's something that is really great. And we can't really wait to see it grow. And the funny thing is, it actually started as just a small idea, based on a problem we were just facing in the office. And then it was able to grow into something really, really great. I didn't plan on building this at all. It was never part of my ideas. It was even my friend that pushed me to developing it, because I just had the idea. I wrote it down on paper. One of my friends in London at the time, asked me for some nice ideas. I shared it with him. He was like, "No, how can I have this on paper? I should make sure I build it. I should make sure I build it." So I said, "Okay, fine." Just started working on it with like 2 of my friends, and then it became.
It's funny because that's usually how great ideas are created, right? You're just starting something just to tinker around a little bit, and then it builds something great. I know Greg had you had a couple of questions. I'll let you go ahead with the questions that you had.
Yeah, inspiring stuff, Ugo. Truly inspiring. But I'm all about the growth part of what you're doing. So exciting what you're building. So for the listeners, I just wanted you to touch on. It's widely reported now that Xend Finance has become, the fastest growing blockchain startup out of Africa. What are some of the key factors that aided in this acceleration, especially because it's out of Africa and it's in the crypto space as well?
One of the things that aided our growth and our acceleration at Xend Finance is actually the team. So the team is actually made up of a very experienced team in engineering, in marketing, and we one of the things we've always tried to do before even doing, let's say, before we release or we go public with anything, is more like making sure we have a very stable team and we have a very stable product as well, and also having a good product is something that accelerated our growth. So something like Xend Finance, unlike other crypto projects out there, are things that you see is like a project that you look at and see it's solving a real problem, right? Yeah. So many crypto projects out there are just, they're just there, for the hype and for, so, but when we created Xend Finance, we wanted to solve a real problem. And we realized that the only way to actually solve this problem, and give people the real access which they deserve is by leveraging the blockchain, right? So that was why we built it on the blockchain, which of course now enabled us to gain access to anybody, anywhere in the world. And people can also access us as well easily without having any third parties or any middlemen, right? Yeah, and also one major contributing factor to our growth and our acceleration is our backers, right? We have tier 1 investors, and I really can't overemphasize on how important that is. We have the likes of like Binance, we have the likes of Ugo.Launchpad, we have the likes of Hashkey, NGC, AU21 Capital. These are like very strong investors. These are tier 1 investors that have a whole lot of, that always provide very large support have huge communities, so they can help accelerate your growth, in a very short period of time. But one major thing that will always make a project grow really fast is if you have a good product, right? The product always speaks, because even if you have very powerful investors and you don't have something that has value, people can't really connect to it. So that's what really helped us out.
Yeah, I just got one more for you, because growth just always fascinates me. What is the next few moonshots for the Wicrypt team and the Xend team? What are you trying to shoot out in the next couple of years?
Okay, so at Xend, one of the things we're trying to do, right, is we're focusing on really creating adoption, right? Because Xend is focusing on the financial space, right? So one of the things we're really trying to do in the next couple of years is to be able to acquire at least 10% of the overall cooperatives and credit union market globally, right? It's a huge market. It's a $2.2 trillion market, right? So our idea is to, and we're the first project to actually create a DeFi platform that caters for the needs of these cooperatives and credit unions in the world, right? So this is something that is really interesting, and we're building a system that will allow these cooperatives, these credit unions, these institutions, right, to be able to deposit or use our service or build on top of our service, and for them to gain very good yields, very good APYs, and to even get better, how would I put it, like a better service in general, right? As opposed to what they get from the traditional financial space. So we're trying to build a system that will enable adoption of the blockchain of cryptocurrency, which is extremely essential for us at this point. So being able to achieve or to acquire up to 10% of that market in the next 5 to 10 years is going to be a huge win for us, because by acquiring the market, it means that we also have millions of people already using crypto, and that will drive adoption of crypto in the mainstream space, right? That's in the traditional financial space, because the crypto market now it's as if it's quite segmented. It's a very small space at the moment, right? But there's a whole lot more waiting to get into that crypto space, and that is our job, to drive that number, drive the funds, drive the people into the decentralized financial space. Yeah, so that's what we're trying to achieve there. Now, at Wicrypt, one of the things we're trying to achieve is to be able to reduce the cost of mobile internet data, especially in Africa. And for us to do that, really, right, we also need this. This is a new kind of design. This is a new kind of system, right, that has not existed before. So you require adoption, right? So you need to be able to get a lot of people to buy into your idea. And I'm really excited that currently at the moment, we already have ISPs partnering with us. So one of the things we want to do is to grow to multiple countries, like within the next 5 years, right? Have major coverage in Africa, right? Especially Africa, right? Yeah, that's one of the things we're trying to achieve within the next 5 years, because if we're able to do that, what it means is that overall the cost of mobile internet data is going to reduce, right? So we'll see that there's going to be very high level of internet penetration, and it's really going to help out. Yeah, so that's basically what we're trying to achieve with both projects.
Great. Awesome. Thank you so much, brother. And we're excited at Wxdl to be partnering with you on this journey.
Hey, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. So, I have one last question for you. We saw, what happened with Paystack, and, we were, everybody was pretty excited about what they were doing, and they exited not too long ago. And some people are kind of disappointed that they sold to an American company. So my last question for you would be, what's your vision? That big vision that you wanna accomplish for Xend Finance and Wicrypt. I love the fact that you're already looking at other markets, because I'm Haitian, I'm from Haiti, so I know that the products that you're building, they would actually be fantastic in Haiti and in all the Caribbeans and some maybe even Latin American countries. So what's that big vision for both companies that you basically want to achieve years from now?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, one of the things, we're just trying to achieve adoption. So we're not trying to sell, right? We're not trying to sell. People who are this guy also, we're not trying to sell, right? So we're trying to achieve growth and adoption, because one thing we've realized is it's not like selling isn't bad, or I like the paystack guys are really cool, right? I take a different view, when people say, oh, they sold too early, so I feel they did a great job. For us, we're not trying to sell, we're trying to because we're basically doing something that is quite different that people haven't really gotten used to, right? So for us to be able to see that our major vision is to drive adoption across the board, because we're dealing with things that have to do with the blockchain in some ways, and also in other ways, just centralized technology. So it's more like at this point where we are is in like the education phase, where we have to educate people on how some of these things work. So what we want to see in the next couple of years, the big vision is to see people use this like something that is, that they've been used to, like the everyday thing. For example, maybe everybody's used to spending cash, right? We want a situation where we, like in the next 5 years, we can see everybody using digital currency, or let's say about 50% of the people that we interact with using digital currencies to do everything they do, like investment, savings, and all that, purchasing stuff. So that's one of the things we're trying to do. We also want a situation where we come in the next 5 years or 10 years and we realize that the cost of mobile internet is extremely low, right? And we see that, there's last mile internet penetration. People are in remote areas and bothered about, how do we get access to internet anymore? Because an individual can just come there, deploy some internet service for them, and the individual is paid regardless of whatever centralized service is existing in the country. People can take this, this service into their own hands because they have a technology to distribute and to generate a revenue when they distribute Wi-Fi. So these are the kind of things we want to see. Mostly the word is adoption. How do people learn about this, and how do people use it in their everyday lives? That is what we want to see. So that's, for me, that's what is going to make me like extremely happy, driving adoption.
Perfect. No, great, fantastic answer. So thanks for your time. It was fantastic talking to you. Seeing two companies, it's great. Not a lot of entrepreneurs can actually build two great companies at the same time, which is fantastic. And thank you for your time. And I don't know if you have something else to add for the end, Greg.
No, great. I'll catch up with Ugo, and we got lots to do. So I'll chat to you soon, bro.
All right, thank you very much. Thanks.
Perfect. All right, that's the end. That's what we had for you today. Great conversation with an amazing entrepreneur building two great companies in Xend Finance and Wicrypt. He's gonna change the world in Africa, and as you can see, he wants to change the world as a whole. So I'll see you guys next time for our next episode with another great entrepreneur. Take care of yourselves.